My story today is about why the he-goat smells. Once upon a time, there was famine in the land of the human beings and in the land of the animal. There was no food. There was no water. There was drought. Everybody was emaciating. Everybody was suffering from hunger and emaciating. But uh, uh, Tortoise couldn't stand the hunger, so he went on a journey, started looking for where he would find food. He walked and walked and walked for days and came into the land of the spirit. There was food. There are this couple, spirit couple. He met them cooking. When they finished cooking, they put their food on the floor and sat around their food and they were eating. He watched them. There was a rhythm to the way they were eating. When the male will put his hand to take food, the female would wait. And then after taking, the female would put her hand and eat again. They kept maintaining this rhythm, and the tortoise studied their rhythm and went in. The moment the male one would put his hand, tortoise would put his own hand and take food, and then the female hand will come in. He got enough, he went home, told his wife. His wife, he called Nokorochi, went with him. When they got there, they did the same thing. As the male was taking food, tortoise would take food. As the female was taking food, Nokorochi would take food. So their hands never touched. They kept doing that. After eating, they went home. Then they met Hen. And Hen said to tortoise, "You look so refreshed. You look so robust. You look so smooth. How is it that every other person is emaciated, hungry looking, thirsty, and you are the only one looking healthy?" Tortoise did not want to tell her. Tortoise said, "You talk too much. If I tell you now, you're going to tell it to everybody. And that place required silence. You might get there and start talking, and they would hear us and we'll have a problem." He said, "No, no, no, I will not. I will control myself. I won't talk." So Tortoise took Hen and the wife and they went. When they reached the spirit world, the spirit couple brought out food again, and Tortoise fell into the rhythm again with the wife. The hen looked at them. In spite of hunger, the hen couldn't control herself. She started laughing. Immediately, the spirit family, husband and wife, had hen. They sent down their magic that clears the house. They call it Opianechuno. It's a guard for their house because they were both blind. Tortoise withdrew his head and his legs into his shell, and the wife did the same thing. And then the guard cut off Hen's head. So they took Hen, cleaned the feather, prepared Hen, tied cloth on the hen, and put in the rafters and lit fire underneath to cook it. Tortoise's wife, Nokorochi, told Tortoise they should go home. They've had enough. Tortoise said, "No, you go home. I'll come back. I want to know what will happen to chicken." So Tortoise's wife left, went home. Tortoise waited until chicken was well cooked, dripping oil from the rafters up there. Tortoise climbed up, took chicken, ate chicken. After eating the chicken, the cloth they used in tying the chicken, the hen, now jumped and tied around Tortoise's waist, tied itself around Tortoise's waist. Tortoise started running. Tortoise took out the cloth, threw it away. The cloth jumped back, tied itself on Tortoise's waist. Tortoise didn't know what to do. He kept running to get home to the land of the living. Kept running. Then the spirit couple, the blind spirit couple came out, grouped their way, looked for the chicken. They didn't see it, grouped and grouped. They didn't get the chicken. So they decided to call the cloth to know where the chicken was. And the man screamed, my cloth, where are you? And then the cloth answered, I am on tortoise's waist to, that is, Ogodome, kedugie, anokwa n'ukwu mbekwuo. Then the ghost or the spirit with the wife, they started going, following the voice to get their cloth and to get the perpetrator, tortoise. As they were going, they were calling the cloth, and the cloth was replying to them. Tortoise would take the cloth and throw away. The cloth will still come back and jump on his waist. At a point, Tortoise saw Goat splitting firewood, naked, and he said to Goat, what is wrong with you? How can you be naked splitting firewood? Don't you know that firewood could split and just destroy your private parts? Take this cloth and cover yourself. And Goat, that was very grateful, thanked him for being so friendly, and took the cloth and tied around his waist and covered his private parts, and Tortoise left. After a while, Tortoise had left. The spirits again called their cloth, Ogodome, keduge, meaning, my cloth, where are you? And the cloth answered, Anokwa n'ukwu mpi analugokwa mbekwu ọnwụ. And then it's meaning the goat, the he-goat has taken that away from tortoise. So they kept going. The goat looked around. The he-goat couldn't understand why the cloth was talking. So he took the cloth and threw it away. The cloth came back and tied itself on the he-goat's waist. Then the he-goat realized the danger he was in and started digging the ground. He dug the ground and dug the ground until he was able to go inside. But our people said when you bury yourself, one of your hands will be hanging outside the grave. So he couldn't bury himself totally. His hands were up. After he's covered and brought in his hand, and the hands were up. The spirit called the cloth was not answering anymore because he's buried inside the ground. Then when they came to where the he-goat was buried himself, he stumbled on the horn, hit his toe on the horn, and then turned and said, whatever is that thing that hit my toe, if I come back and you hit my toe again, I'm going to find out what you are. So the spirit continued calling the cloth and continued walking until it got so far that he knew he couldn't go anymore. They came back. He and his wife came back. On their way back, the same horn hit the toe again. So he decided to find out what was hitting the toe and started digging and hitting the horn with everything he had. It became so painful for the goat that the goat had to jump out of the ground. And then they said, Ogodome, keduge, my cloth, where are you? And then the cloth said, Mpi analugokwa mbekwu ọnwụ. The he-goat has taken that away from tortoise. So they realized that tortoise had exchanged his fate with the he-goat. So they took the cloth and peed on the he-goat as a punishment. That's why the he-goat smells. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you look at the lessons, and I hope you share for others to enjoy with you. Thank you.